And good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's go down the roll here and see how you guys are doing. Dave C, Big D, good to see you. Steven, happy to see you as always. And let's see who else we have here. Paul Stewart, Dave Kraus, good to see you guys. Hey, Mike, W4FEJ, how's everything? Let's see, Glenn, good evening from Northern Michigan, from cold Northern Michigan. Ooh, that's a rough one. I'm looking forward to, should be about bone chilling. Well, it is kind of bone chilling. 50, 55 over in up north. Down here, it's hasn't quite hit yet. We're all still waiting for it, but we're looking forward to it. And good evening, Bobby. Good to see you. Gary, always happy to see you. Let's see what we got here. Chris Marcello, good evening. Yep, hope you guys are staying warm up in the northern part of the country and all thereabouts. Let me see. One of these days I'll come up with some kind of a warming up woodworking project. But for now, Kevin from Philadelphia, good to see you. Let's see if I let me set. Come on, phone. There you are. Unlock with my face. I haven't. Still not getting used to that. Get on my YouTube channel here, and so I can see the. Good evening, Kevin. I mean, good evening. No, I read Paul already. I said good evening to you. Okay, so we're gonna get started in a second here, and we're gonna do a nice. We're gonna work with some gears today, and I'm gonna show you a lot of you guys. When you work with gears, there are many gear programs which will draw gear up for you, a certain amount of teeth, et cetera, et cetera. I'll show you a couple little secrets to. You could call them cheats, you can call them secrets, so you don't have to go through that whole mess. But that all depends on. Again, it all depends on whether you want to make simple gears or whether you want to make something complex. But I'll talk all about working with gears and how to create gears manually, because I know there's a in the higher up programs there is I believe there is a gear option. Hang on a second. Let's see here. Boom. And boom. And there I am. 34 degrees. That's a rough one. That's not fun at all. Anyway. All right. So let's jump into it, shall we? All right. So let's get our Vectric going. And today, let me share with you what we're doing actually, first of all. So we are, let me pull the picture up. We're doing something similar to, this is kind of funny, but it's a novelty more than anything else. But here's what we're doing. We're doing this. We're doing this wonderful fancy schmancy switch. Okay, so imagine, if you will, you have a light switch, and you don't want to go through the simple, quick function of just going click, click to turn it on or off. You'd rather do something like, let's go ahead and Rube Goldberg a light switch, shall we? So anyways, this is a nice, simple little thing that can be done. It's going to be slightly different than this picture, because this was done with a laser, and it's that pattern's out there, and there's a lot of patterns similar out there. But let's go ahead and try to do one a little bit differently, shall we? All right, so let's see, 39, 30. Man, you guys are just out there. I'll challenge you when it comes up to the higher temperatures in summer, but every single one of those temperatures are lower than anything I can get down here, so no contest. All right, so create new file. We're going to create a new file. And as always, I like to have a 24 by 36 when I'm working on this machine, on the Cam Master, because that's my full area. Machine bed for me, and there it is. So now I'm going to see the size of a light switch is roughly, let's find out here. Or actually, I just want to see what this one is. Because really, we could do any size, but we're looking at 2 3/4 by 4 and a quarter. I mean 4.5. So 2 3/4 by 4.5. I'm going to go ahead and make it. Yeah, I guess I'll make it 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches by 4.5. So we'll just make it a little wider. So here we go. Let me see what else you guys are saying there. Niagara Falls, that's got to be, got to get some interesting weather down there. Okay, so we are looking at starting from 0, 0. We're looking at a width of 3 inches, say 3.5, and by 4.5 high. I don't want to go higher than 4.5 because that's just, oh shoot, that's we want square corners. All right, so we have our rectangle. And let's zoom in, shall we? There we go. We have our rectangle. And now, roughly, the light switch is in the middle. Let's just say the light switch was approximately, I don't know, 1/2 by 3/4. Yeah, that sounds about right. So it's dead center, and it's going to be 1/2 inch by 3/4. Look for the center. There it is. Boom. That's definitely more than that. It's 1 inch, I'd say. Okay, that's a fair assessment of a light switch. We'll go back to our little reference picture here, and obviously what they did over here on the picture was they took and they you'll notice there's a little hole cut out so you can install the light switch, and there's a little hole down here, recessed hole obviously. Then there is just under the light switch, that's where the little nut or some type of pin is installed. We're not going to worry too much about that. We're just going to concern ourselves with the 2 shapes of the 2 gears. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's do the first gear. Let's see what kind of a shape we can do. We'll start with a diameter of, if the thing is 3.5, yeah, we'll try a diameter of 3 inches. So we'll do it right in the middle here, about 175 up, and we'll say 1 1.25. Is that? Let's see. If we're doing 3 inches, then yeah, it takes up the whole thing. Okay, so it's almost right at the. Okay, perfect. So we're doing 3 inches, so it's got to be about 1.75. Which is the halfway point on the X, and we'll guess 1.75. Again, guys, half the time it's faster if you just don't bother taking coordinates and just, do your little fancy guesses. And this is a fair guess, okay? Maybe we want to go a little bit lower. So let's say Y will be 1.65. All right, that's a little better. We'll get rid of that top one. We have our circle. We have our center point. In fact, let's go ahead and put a line across the center point. Let's get a measurement here. and go right to the middle, 1.75, and we'll get another line here, another guide, and we'll go right to 1.65. That's the center, believe it or not, of this circle. At least that's what we put it at. It doesn't look like it because this wonderful thing offsets it. Let me see if we have any comments. Good evening, Frankie. Good to see you. Good evening, Bruce. All right, so now let's go ahead and start and make a gear of some sort. Now, one thing that this has to do is this has to. All right, let's go ahead and make the gear. Now, in order to make the gear, let's assume that we're using. I'm going to shoot for a really small bit, a 1/16 inch bit. You can get them, and well, you can get a lot smaller too. So we're doing precision work here with the CNC. Granted, a laser would be better, and with thin sheets, and you could use this file for the laser. But let's go ahead with the with that. So we have our circle. Now the diameter is going to be a 1/16 of an inch, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's 0.0625. Is that correct? Let's do it this way. Let's go 1 divided by 16 and then hit the equal sign. And there it is, 0.0625. And we'll go right here with that. That's awful small. Okay, let's use an 1/8 inch bit, guys, because that is way too small. So 1/8 inch bit. The diameter is 1/8 inch. An 1/8 inch bit. The diameter would be. Wait a second. With an 1/8 inch bit, actually, the diameter is 1/16 of an inch, so that'll be fine. Let's see how an 1/8 inch bit looks. Still too small. Okay, I'm going to go for the quarter. This is crazy. I mean, it might be crazy, but I'm going to go for a 1/4 inch. Or rather, radius of 0.125, which is a 1/4 inch circle. And we're going to do it right there. That's decent. All right. And then, now here's the thing. We want to create a bunch of circles all the way around. And in order to do that, we want to rotate them. So here's what we want to do. We're gonna go ahead and do the brute force method, which is basically take this tool, rotate about. The center will be 1.75, 1.65, which is our center here. So this will create copies all along this circle. You're already beginning to see what I'm doing. I'm actually creating the little notches, you know. But for the moment, let's see what we got here. We may change it around. We may fiddle with it after. But here we go. The trick is we want them right next to each other, and I'll show you why in a second. All right. So if it's 1/8 inch, number of items will be, well, the step angle. We're going to go by the total angle. The total angle is 360. Now, if the total angle is 360, because you can actually figure out the angle of each one of these. But I'd rather just say, okay, 360, because if I click 4, look what happens. They get 4 equal ones, all right? Which, obviously, I need more than 4. So I'm going to shoot for something like, let's try 24. It will be, or should be, let's try 30. Might be too much, might be too little. Look at that. 30 is pretty darn close. Oh, and yeah, that is off by a bit. You'll notice that it went around, but it went on the inside here. So clearly, the rotational center is off. So let's go ahead and move this guide because I don't know where I set this circle to. Let me go back and see. Let me see if, yeah, here it is. I don't know why it's at 1.56. Made a mistake somewhere along the way. But you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to roll with it at this point. Let's move this point. Let's get rid of this point. Let's go to here. And 1.56 is the center. So now we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to go to rotate. We're going to do 30 of them. We'll try that. And 1.50. Oh, that's what I did. I transposed the numbers. Wow, I had a dyslexic moment. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so let's say copy. They're still a little separated. Okay, let me try, but at least now they're all around the circle. Let's try 32. 32 is a little closer. Let's try 33. Maybe 36. Look at that. 36 of them just about make it all the way across. I can live with that. I can live with that. Now, here's what you got to do. All right. So, folks, let me make it easy on you guys. All right. And now hopefully you can follow me with this. What I want to do, and let me see if there's any questions in the meantime while I'm here. No questions. Good evening, Ed. Good to see you. All right. So what I want to do is the following. I want to take every other one is going to be we'll call it the edge, and every other one is the inside. So basically, it's gonna kind of look like this. Here, let me do something here. I'm going to subtract from this. I'm going to subtract. Let me group a couple of these just for now. Oops, hate that button. All right, so I'll group these for now just to show you something. I'm going to take this piece here minus these, and then and I'm going to take this piece here. Hey, wait. Oh, yeah, I did plus. Well, it doesn't matter. One or the other works, and then this one is minus. All right. So you see you see the beginnings of what I'm doing. I'm making a little simple, tiny gear. All right. So let me do it the easy way, however. All right. So let's go back to where I had the one item. And now what I'm going to do with the one item is the following. Get this. I'm going to take, oops, I hate, come on, go back. All right, I'm going to take the one, I'm going to copy and paste it. So now I have two pieces because I need to rotate twice. The first one I'm going to rotate. You're going to love this. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this. It's going to be, instead of, whoop, that's not rotate. There we are. Instead of 36 like we originally did, I'm only doing 18. That's half of them. All right. Total angle is 360. Copy. Boom. Okay, now all of those, I'm going to take this and all of those and just add them together. So I'm going to weld them all. Boom. There's the outside. Okay. Now here's what I'm going to do with this one. You take this one. First, I have to move it over one notch. Remember, everything is relative to this center here. So I'm going to take this over one notch, and I am going to just do one copy, but the step angle is going to be, remember, 33. It's going to be 10 degrees because remember we had 36 of them, and it's 360 degrees. So the total angle is 10. So we're going to go. Sorry, two copies. Copy. Boom. Nope, that wasn't 10. My bad. It was 20. Okay, so we have our one piece. Now we can get rid of this original one. We really don't need it anymore. And now this one here, now we take and rotate it with an angle of 360 with 18 of them. Basically, we did exactly the same thing but offset. You could also rotate it 20 degrees or 10 degrees rather. Now you would be rotating 10 degrees, but anyway, that's another way of doing it. There's many ways. So here we go. Why didn't it copy? Oh, because I didn't choose the proper center. All right, let me do that. I undid, by the way. Rotational center, step angle. The heck? Oh, oh, hang on a second. 1.75, 1.56. What did I do wrong? Hang on. 8. Well, I want 18 of them. And total angle. I'm sorry. No wonder. That's what happened to me last time. Okay, total angle is 360. There we go. Now we got it right. Now we take all of these and we take the original. We're gonna let's see. Actually, let's do it backwards. We got to subtract the first one minus the second one. So we can't just shift and say subtract, because look what'll happen. You see? You got to subtract it in the other order, folks, in the other order. So hang on, let me redo here. So here's what you got to do. You got to take basically the pieces, which are here, group them together first. So it's best to do it, so you didn't have to shift, click, and select these things. It's best to do it right after you copy the array. Group them. Now they're all grouped. Now you can do this one minus, let me zoom in so you guys can see it a little better. This one that has the outside notches minus the second one. And now you click the subtract. And you have a simple gear. Of course, it would be a good idea to create a little tiny hole in the center, just so you know where the gear is. So let's do a hole of, we'll do it a 0.1 diameter, and it's going to be a 1.75, 1.56. Create. There's your little center. All right. Now you have a gear of radius. Now remember, the radius was 3 inches here. So for those of you following along, if we were to do another one of these up on top here, the best thing you could do is create a circle with radius half of this. Okay, because let me go back to the let me check if there's any questions in the meantime. Nope, nothing. Oh, yeah, here we go. Hang on. Stephen, let me see. Hang on a second. Oh, let me get back to this thing here. At Dave Clemens. Yeah, Dave, well, and Stephen. Yeah, I'm sorry to say I also have no contact with Dave. He has been, it's been very strange. As many of you know, as of about 4 or 5 months ago, whatever, ever since he started advertising the other controller, yet at the same time he's already been phasing out. I think he's getting a little tired of the internet. He's getting a little tired of the internet, and he's just enjoying his. I think he's been doing Flight Simulator, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but I mean, more power to him. I originally created the CNC controller so he could sell more of his, and about 4 or 5 months ago, he advertised another one, which is fine. But I asked him what was going on and stuff, and I don't know. There was I guess he got upset because he just took mine off and left the other one on there. I still, to this day, I don't know, because there have been 2 or 3 messages 4 months ago via text, and I haven't spoken to him in 4 or 5 months. He doesn't answer any calls, and basically he said he wanted more space. So I put the ball in his court. If he wants to, he knows where I am. I have nothing. I miss him, but it is what it is. So yeah, he's been taking it easy. He's still doing the Wednesday sessions. So of which I'm also blocked from the. So if you guys don't hear me in the sessions, I still watch them under an assumed name, and I'm not going to share what that name is. But apparently, for whatever reason, I am muted. So I can't tell you anything about the why he's not doing the coffee sessions. He just got tired of them. He just got tired of them stuff. I still wish him well, and I'm still selling controllers like crazy. I've hooked up with 2 or 3 other different maker communities, and because before this all happened, I had ordered the parts to make 50 units. So I'm not going to get stuck with 50 units. I figure, and then now it's gone well for me. So it is what it is. And let me get back to the subject at hand. Okay, so we got the gears here. And now, if you'll notice from the picture, we have this. Now here's the funny thing about this picture, guys. We are, like I said, we're making a Rube Goldbergian thing, because why do we want to just flip a switch, take our finger and move it an inch, when we can grab a lever and switch it all the way to the other side? Now, it's cute. It's cool. It's a novelty. I'm making one and sticking it somewhere where I don't often have a light switch, just for fun. But it's really cool. So this lever goes from the left all the way over to the right. So like you see it there, you see the half of it. Now imagine it's very simple. Since this is going halfway, I mean, you just do, it's simple math, guys. If this is moving half a turn, this circle here is moving half a turn to make the switch. Oh, and by the way, when you move it over to this side, it covers the on and the off shows. And this one is moving, as you can see, from here to here is a quarter of a turn. All right. It's from, imagine a center line here, straight across the button, and a center line here. So, I mean, that's a pretty simple thing. So this isn't rocket science. You just have to visualize it, So let's continue with the switch here. So now we're going to make a switch. Now, as you see on that switch, it's all the way on top. Well, let's see what we do here. We're going to create another circle, and let's say we'll just pick a number, and we'll adjust it afterwards. But let's see. Let's go to okay. If it's 1.5 inches big, it's 0.75. So 0.75 for the top. This is 4.5 minus, that's 3.75. Let's shoot for that number and see if that works. 3.75 on the Y. That way we'll have a firm number. And it's going to be a diameter of 1.5 inches. Exactly half of the other one. Okay, so there is our second circle. You see our second circle there. All right, now we're going to do the same thing we did for this one. Let's go ahead and see if we can put a guide of some sort here. There, 3.75, and that there. Now let's go ahead and, well, we'll do a little circle there after. I'm not going to do it now. Let's create our circle on top, and we're going to call it. What was the first one? It was yeah, 1/4 inch circle. We got to have the same circle, guys. Same circle, 1/4 inch circle. And then this one, we're going to do the following. We're going to go again. Now this time the center will be 1.75 and 3.75. If I'm not, yep, there it is. There's the center. We're going to rotate. If we rotate 18, look what happens. Boom. Now, you know what? It's small enough, the circles, that I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and leave it just like that. I'm going to leave it because I can figure them out myself this way. For instance, these, this, and this. Oop. Yeah. I'll install the update. Ooh, 16.1.1 is out. How exciting. Whatever. Parallels. Okay, so this, and let's go ahead and yeah, we'll do this one as well. Oop. And we'll do this one. Okay, so we got these. Now, all of this will be welded. Bam. Oops. That was a mistake. See that? See what I did there? Hope you guys caught that. I missed. Okay. Yeah, it should be good. Okay. Wait a second. There's something wrong with that. Okay. Hang on. One, and nah, we don't want to do that one there. Okay, that's good enough. We shall do it this way. Plus, boom. Now we'll take these to subtract. So we'll take this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and yeah, we'll take that one too, and this one too. We'll subtract all of these. Nope, we don't need this one subtracted. We also don't need this one subtracted. All right, so this, again, we group. Then we do this one minus this one. I'm holding the shift key and clicking on the second group. So it's the first set minus the second set, and click subtract. Boom. There's my gears. These we can just eliminate because there is our, somewhat. Now we'll see whether I actually do this or whether I actually have a. Yeah, it won't go anywhere further. Whatever. Yeah, maybe we should have done that other one. Let me do that other one also. So this minus this. No, that just makes it worse. Let's do this plus this. I'm gonna play it by ear. We should have done more or less, whatever. If we rotate it again, this is one of those things that we have to. What we should have done was start with a circle, so that's not a problem. Here's what we'll do to fix this scenario. We'll take this piece, we'll rotate it, along that, and the angle will be 10. Let me see if that's correct. Apply. Yep. The angle will be 10. Now this one, we'll rotate it counterclockwise. So that'll be -10 across 3.75, 1.75, 3.75. Let's see. Nope, that didn't work out well. Because it's not 10. I believe it's 5. Nope. It's +10. Let me. Yeah, it was 20. Okay, and we'll just close that, raise that up a bit, and there's our there's our thing. We're going to have to figure some. Wait a second. How come it? What I want to do, folks, is I want to make sure. You know what? I'm going to go by this one. What I have to do is, and I'll do it manually. I'll just do it manually. It's easier that way. You take it and you rotate it until it's even. Bam. Because I want to create the switch going this way and then the other way. So then this way, now, again, I'm complicating matters much. A lot. What I should have done, which, you know, too little, too late. But what I should have done was, now we take this and we rotate it again, just to there. All right. It doesn't matter where this is, as long as it starts and finishes correctly. So we have our two gears that rotate. When this one rotates, well, now we got to figure out what the new axis is, but it doesn't matter. When this one rotates, that should still be in the middle. When this one rotates, that one will rotate. Now we'll create the fancy schmancy little, and let me go take a look and see if you guys got any comments. I'm going to create the lever. Here we go. Look at the original. Now, again, the gears that I'm doing are huge, but I mean, come on, I'm not looking for tiny gears here, you know. And I could make them smaller. I could make them half that size and still, because right now this is an 1/8" bit doing this. We can go with a 1/16. Let's see what we got as far as the comments. Yeah, Bruce. He as far as I know, I was as far as you know, I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but I went on and I was saying hello to everybody, and for some reason or another, it might not have been him, but for some reason or another, the Javi's Wood Shop would not show up. You know, I couldn't see it one way or another. It looked like it went through here, but then I never saw it pop up in the stream. So I went off and I went on as myself, and the same thing happened. Both myself and the other one. And I went on as one of my other personalities, a completely different name. I didn't see any of my comments. I saw everybody else's. And then I could comment on that one and it would be shown everywhere. So I don't know. You know, people get upset at other people for whatever reason. I can't understand it, but it is, you know, and that's the funny part, Chris. I agree with you. And I stay away from friends in business, and I'll be honest with you. I suspected the same thing, Chris. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know what's going on. I think some people are. Look, I tend to have. Maybe I'm naive in this, but I tend to have a very aggressive personality, and sometimes I'm a little too direct for people. I understand that, you know, but I mean, deep down inside, you know, I'm a little more emotional than most. So when I asked him, you know, basically here, I'll put it out on the line here. I said, what's going on? Is there something I should know about? This is the gist. I'm not going to get into details. This is the gist of the conversation. What's going on? Is there something I should know about? And he's, you know, and he said, I'm not doing anything for him that I didn't do for you. And I go, well, you know, I assumed with our friendship, and this was my fault. I thought with our friendship, you might have, you know, pushed mine a little, and he got upset because he has pushed mine. On the other hand, the only reason I created this was really for him, because I was, you know, he talked me into it after a while. But long story short, he basically is off the radar as far as I'm concerned. He you know, so. Hey, Dave, how's it going, Mr. Jones? It's funny enough, David. I was doing a lot of research on, because this wonderful book here, the that reads like worse than stereo instructions. There's a lot of changes coming up, and I gotta know the changes for the new electrical code, because we follow the here in Florida we follow the 2020 standard, and so I was looking, and Mike Holt is one of the guys that I follow, and it's fantastic, great. He's very active in uh, in the code, in the actual changes in the code. He has public input, and he's really into all that. Well, anyway, one of the other people that I was looking at is I'm not sure if it's. I've been getting into the plumbing code changes and the electrical code changes, and there's a David Jones out there on YouTube with a channel, no relation. Well, it might be a relation. looks nothing like you though, and he's a plumber. I don't know where though, and he's got a lot of great information on a lot of these people dedicate themselves to teaching others about the code and different things like that, and what things are changing. The electrical code. Sorry to sideline here for a second, guys. I'll get back to this wonderful switch in a second. I still got 20 minutes. Yeah, so there's a couple big changes in the electrical code. One is outside, you are not allowed to have two disconnects. You cannot have two main disconnects. Before, you used to have up to 6. So if you were, let's say you had a panel here, a panel there, a panel there, you could actually have a disconnect for each panel outside, and then, no big deal. Now, the new code says 1. And they do that for firefighters and emergency personnel. When they come in, God forbid there's a fire or anything, they want to be able to pull one switch and have all the power shut off at the at your place and stuff, even if they're separate buildings. 1, emergency service disconnect. That's one of the changes. The other changes, obviously, everything has to have. Was just over ticking a thin-skinned person off with another. Oh, okay. Congratulations. That's funny. David's a trip and a half. But yeah, the other thing that one of the other changes was you had a neutral has to be in every light switch because of all the new LED stuff and all this. So before, if you had a light switch, it'd just be, you have to label it, but you have to use black, and the other one you could label it. I used to label it blue, but you could label it red or black, the white neutral wire, and connect both sides to the switch, and that's the end of it. Obviously, ground the box with the ground. But now, guess what? You got to put neutral in also. So that's interesting because of the new. You basically, if you're not using it because you're not having a smart house, you just cap it off, but it's got to be in there. The other thing is the big thing that they go on about, and I completely understand it, is grounding. Ground and neutral have to be tied only at the entrance, at the service entrance part. That's it. At your main breaker. If you've got multiple panels, it's the first one that everything goes through, or the first lug that everything goes to, et cetera, et cetera. You can't, basically at the beginning. And I see what they're saying, because what happens is if there's a fault somewhere, not to get into anything too technical, but if there's, let's say, a short circuit somewhere where stuff is going to ground, or rather, no. Actually, what happens is here's what happens. You have a sub panel over here, and you have the main panel over here. Now, this sub panel, let's say you got a lot of stuff feeding it, like a whatever, and a lot of 110 circuits, and it'll go. The 110 comes back through neutral. Well, guess what? The way electricity works is The 110 will come back through neutral, but if it's grounded here, if neutral and ground are connected or bonded, then it will distribute the power through neutral and ground. So now your ground is energized between this sub panel and this box. That's not good. That is not good at all. But anyway, I mean, and then there's a bunch of other, so you could, if you have a major short circuit or a lot of current going into the neutral bar, basically you're anything that's grounded along the way, you can have some serious voltage. Not a good thing. Alaska checking in 3 degrees. Holy cow. Tom, you are pretty much, you beat the, you got the low one so far. All right, so let's go on with the rest of this design. So we have a nice little, let's go ahead and do the handle here. We can do anything we want really with the handle. We'll just simply take a rectangle. We'll go from here to here and do this, and then we'll take a circle and we'll do this. Let's do a small circle. There it is. And whatever. We didn't even need a rectangle. All we needed was a couple. We'll do a couple lines here. So line here to there. And we'll just continue it here and here. Go right back here. So, and again, everything I do is subtraction and addition of different things. We'll take now, and we will take this piece, sorry, not this piece, that piece, and that piece, and we'll make one big, huge piece out of it. Get rid of this, get rid of this. Okay, we have our long little handle here. It doesn't look as nice and fancy as the other one, but we're not making it the same. So here we go. We'll make a 0.2 again here. Boom. There's a nice little hole. And then we'll make a, I don't know, not half an inch, but let's say 0.3, whatever. Right there. For the handle, we'll do something fancy with it. And perhaps a couple little 3 or 4 lines here. But that, folks, is your basic, the shell of the switch. Now, the last thing we're missing is the curve. So imagine, if you will, that you have, it's going to be either on the top or on the bottom. Well, let's do it the easy way, shall we? Here, we'll create the circle on the bottom, and we'll make the circle half an inch. Okay, let's make it bigger than half an inch. Let's make it 0.6, shall we? Apply. Maybe even, yeah, we'll make it 0.6. That sounds good. And we'll have another one up here, 0.6. All right. There's our 2 circles. Okay, what are you doing with 2 circles, Javi? Well, I'm taking this circle here, shifting it 90 degrees. So I rotate it. And I'll rotate it absolute, use the coordinates 1.75, 1.56, 90 degrees. If it is 90 and not, it might be negative 90. Let me see, apply, undo, absolute, not relative. Gotta do a redo, yeah, and oh, someone sent me a text message. Ooh. How exciting. Ah, thanks. Sorry, guys. It helps if I remember to share the screen. Thanks again, folks. There's always somebody out there that, okay, so here's what I did, basically. Let me go back through it real fast. We made a square here. Okay, so we made this square, and then we made a circle over here, and to make a handle. And then what we did was, let me see, redo, trim, and Control Y. And then what we did was we simply Not Control Y. What is it? Oh, Command Y. We deleted this. We deleted this. Oh, by the way, we drew a couple lines from the circle to the point here on the rectangle. Then we joined them all, and then we just got rid of these last two lines. Okay, so we created this knob. Again, I apologize. I had to do this again. Then we did a couple of circles, a circle there, a nice circle there. Then we went to create a circle here, but we made it bigger. We made a nice big one, 0.6. Then we made another circle here. Now, why did I make these two circles here? Well, because this circle is about to be rotated. Actually, maybe I should make this a little bit bigger. So let me make this circle 0.65. And this one also, oops, do that. Let me also make that circle 0.65. All right. All right, so you have two circles and you're going, why in the world? Let me make sure I'm still sharing. Yep. Okay, so I have two circles. Well, in the on position, it is like that, and that is the on position. Now, in the off position, the top will rotate over to the right. This will rotate 180 degrees, which means this circle, twice the size, will rotate in this direction counterclockwise. This one's rotating clockwise, so the bottom one is rotating counterclockwise. Thus, we have to move this, the off button has to be located, you guessed it, if you guessed it, from absolute 1.56, 90 degrees, possibly 90, might be negative. I always forget the direction that it goes in. Hang on a second. Okay. 1.56. Use coordinates, please. And absolute 90. Let me apply this. Yeah, it's the other way. So I'll just do it again and do it again. Hang on a second. Hey, what happened? Why didn't it do it again? Should have done it twice again. Okay, so I'll just do this. Oh, I see. They're going to be funny about it. Okay, 270, whatever. So here's the second circle. So this it's going to curve from here to here. Now, clearly, if something's going to curve from here to here, I'm going to take and I'm going to curve it. Well, let's see how the other one is. You see how it's curving outward? Nice and simple. Let's go ahead and do that. So, and that's done with the simple means of an arc through 3 points. Yeah. I'm going to go from here, from this point here to this point here, and we'll curve it ever so slightly. Yeah, that's good. And then this one from this point here. Let me see if this will. Let me see how it did it. Okay, so they did a bigger curve, and they did it from. Okay, gotcha. So it's going to have to be around from here. And yeah, it will be to here, and it will be a nice big curve there. Then we got another one up here. Yeah, we'll go straight to there. And, you know, again, I'm approximating, guys, but all in all, it should be fine. Cut these pieces, cut this piece, cut this piece. Undo that. Whatever. Okay, so we got a very, very rough piece here. But there's your switch. Your switch will be up here, and when it rotates, it'll go down to the bottom. And the only other thing you got to do now is just some more design work, make it look a little fancy and pretty. So, that's a simple matter. We still got another 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and let me see if I answer any questions if you guys got them. And if not, I'll just throw some stuff in there. Yes, thanks, David, for calling. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in here. We're going to create, I don't know, a nice big circle there, maybe a little smaller than that, 0.5. And then a circle, actually, I should do it here. Okay, should do one here, and we'll make this one 0.35. And this one, we'll move it to here. And the reason why I'm doing it here is because this way, guys, I know that it's, hang on. I know that this now is, when I make a circle, it's going to be aiming at the center. Rather, when I make a fancy schmancy line of some sort. Sorry, curve here. So we'll take this point here to this point here. And yeah. And we'll take all of this and we'll just make it all one piece. There's our little curve, okay? So again, we take our rotating tool and we shall make, 3 copies? 4 copies? I don't know. Let's see. Let's make, let's go step it 20 degrees. Let's see how that looks. That's definitely wrong. Go from the middle. Rotation center, again, is 1.75, 1.56. The object size remains the same. Okay, that's way too little of a step, so let's go with 45 degrees. Still not enough, oddly enough. Let's go with 60. Nope, too much. All right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll rotate that in a second. Let's go ahead and rotate this. Again, along the same things, and we're going to rotate it, say, let's try for 55 degrees. Okay, let's try for negative 55 degrees. I hate it when that happens. That's too much. So we'll do 45 it is, negative 45. And yeah, that's good enough. Now we'll do the rotate. Rather the this copy, and we'll do let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do about 4 of them, I think. So that would be 5 at let's try 45 degrees. It's the wrong way. Negative, but it's got to be bigger. Let's try 60, and let's try only 4 of them. You know what? We'll do 3 and have it and done with it. We'll we could just reshape this one and make it smaller. Actually, let's go ahead and do another one of these. Telling you, I don't like how a lot of these look, but that's easy to fix. So we'll take this, we'll make a circle out of it, and it'll be a bigger circle. And we'll do the same thing here. It'll be a smaller circle. Said smaller, not bigger. There we go. So we have our, let's get rid of these 2. We have our crazy little gear here. again, we could put in some more flourish to make it look nice, but that's the basics of it. And create a little thing that says on, preferably not so incredibly large. Text height will be, I don't know, half an inch. And that's, as they say, is that. So this is on, and the other side is obviously off. Copy, paste. And you won't notice this unless you actually move the lever, clearly. But there it is. Save. Door switch, Rube Goldberg. All right. And folks, there's our nice little switch. Now, what we'll do is you guys gotta, find measure exactly where the hole is in the middle. You gotta, and so to get the precise size, you might have to tweak the gear a little bit, and you have to get right over here. There's going to be a hole about, let's make it 0.2, just for, right here, and say right here. I don't know exactly where, well, certainly more in the middle, but these two are the holes for the, these two holes. You see there's one down here, and there's one up here. The actual switch plate holes, you're going to have to do a little V-carve on that, and you're good to go. There's your wonderful little thing. Again, the rest is just minor stuff. You simply do a profile cut on this. In fact, well, let me finish it off. I know we're like 2 past, but let's go ahead and we'll do toolpaths. We'll do, let's lock this. We shall go to, okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. All the little holes. All right, so we'll forget the 2 holes here. And we'll forget the, obviously we'll forget the off and on. But let's go ahead and do these 2. And it's just a simple profile toolpath. Remember, it will cut the insides. If you want this, not, well, obviously this one has to cut through, but these designs, you can just do anything you want on it. We'll select, and we'll select for now, I'm just going to select a 16th inch end mill and say, it's going to go, calculate. Yeah. There were some vectors that weren't completed, so let me just do something here. I want to move this over, recalculate it. It's going to give me some back. Yeah. Okay, so the big curvy hole is the one that's a problem. So let's go ahead and do the big curvy hole. See, it's not joined, and that's my fault. 1, 2, join that one, join that one, join. Now it should be joined. It is. I believe everything's okay now. So let's go this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And one of them wasn't joined. I don't know which one, but I'm not going to pay attention to that now. I can fix that later. So there's our See, now this is the problem with this is the you got to do it in two pieces. Clearly, oops, sorry, you got to do it in two pieces because these two will clearly overlap. So let's just go ahead and carve it anyway, because we're done for tonight, and that is the gears welded together. Obviously, you're going to do this one separate from the other one. You're going to knock out these pieces. You're going to create the... Okay, you got these two pieces taken care of. And then you're going to go ahead and create the... see, there's a problem. This little thing is way too high up here. But that's easy to fix. So we'll do one of these for now. Okay, so folks, you have to create the box. You basically are going to have to separate three pieces. This piece will be separate. Let's do this again. This, and these two. We'll group them. Well, actually, yeah, we can group them for the moment because I don't want to lose the... All right, so we got those. We got these. And then now if we do the whole... let me just select everything and profile everything. And... just to be quick about it. But anyway, there's the three pieces you need. So take it to heart. And then you got, obviously, you got to learn how to put together, put a knob on this thing of some sort. You guys can do all that part easily. This I would V-carve instead of just cutting it out. And there you are. There's the three pieces. Now, I would put a little divot. Before you separate these like I did, I would put a little divot here exactly where the center is so you can actually run the screw through. And likewise, the center hole on top. You know, so before you go doing all of this stuff, you see, they got this center. Make sure you duplicate it and put a divot on these things. And there you go. All right, folks, save for another day, and I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Marcello, have a nice evening, and one last thing I will say for those of you, because we're at the end of the show. Again, I will give you the link for the giveaway. A second. Let me find it here. It's hobby.com/ apparently it was deleted from my bookmarks, so it should be hobby.com Black Friday CNC controller giveaway, but let me double check what it is. Of course not. Give me 2 shakes and I'll tell you what it is. There it is. All right. Folks, it's Javi.com to register. And next Saturday, I believe, this week is Thanksgiving. So next Saturday, this week is Black Friday. I will be on the Saturday show. I will announce the winner. Javi.com / Black Friday CNC giveaway. It's not a CNC that I'm giving away. It's a CNC controller full blown. It's going to be the CNC controller, one of the famous Javi boxes that you can see on Javi.com/store or JaviBox.com. That'll take you straight to there. Many of you already have one, so but anyway, it's a CNC controller, 4-axis CNC controller, and it's going to come with the motors. It's going to come with the 425 motors, ounce inch. It's going to come with the limit switches, e-stop, touch probe, and a router switch or a spindle controller, whichever you wish. Mike, if Mike is still here, Mike had a question earlier about the spindle cable, but I don't. Let me see. Have a question about the spindle cable in your store. I was confused by the first sentence in this. It sounded like it was for the spindle controller and not just the cable. Okay. All right, Mike, and if you're still here, hopefully you're still here. If not, I'll message you later. The spindle cable is a cable, but it's got a built-in relay inside it because it's what the spindle controller, what the VFD needs. It connects directly from. It's a cable that plugs into the hobby box and then plugs into your VFD, which controls your. If you have like a Huang Yang or a Huang Yuang, whatever they're called, or from My Sweeting or whatever, from My Sweetie, one of those spindles. They all use the same setup for the controllers. There's 5 connections to get your spindle to be controlled remotely. 2 of them are for on-off. Since the on-off output of the Javi controller is 24 volts, there's a small little relay in there which will switch it to a contact. So then that will control the on-off. As far as the 0 to 10 volts, not a problem. The Javi box will produce that, and then that will be your speed settings. So you can have speed settings that way. And so how many times can you register? Once. You can register as many times as you want if you want to waste your time, because frankly, all the duplicates will be dumped. But yeah. So that's the now there is the manual. There's 2 different types of controllers on the store, rather 2 different types of connections for a spindle on the store. One is the manual spindle controller. You do not need a hobby box for that. That is a manual. That's anybody that has a spindle controller. And Dave Gatton was very happy with the one I gave him. It's a box that has the speed control and the on-off switch, so you can control it remotely. Personally, on my box, mine's inside the thing, up in the corner. I'd rather turn it on, remotely, and I'd rather control the speed. Now, the speed, pretty much once you set it, I always want to control the speed remotely, guys. For those of you with CNCs out there with spindle controllers, having it being controlled by Mach 3 is fine. It's great. It's wonderful. I don't like it because, frankly, if I'm in the middle of a job and I want to speed it up or slow it down, not the feed speed, but the actual speed of the, let's say I'm using a bit that I forgot to sharpen, or I put an old bit in there and stuff, didn't realize it. I'll turn up the speed just a little bit to smooth it out from any burrs, which, you shouldn't do, because then you'll just burn up the bit faster, but everybody does it. Or you see that it's chattering, you slow it down, you speed it up, depending on how the thing goes. And then yeah, Dave, no problem. I completely understand. But yep, just the ones. And then so the spindle controller, like I said, the manual spindle controller, for me, my preference, let Mach 3 control the on-off always, and let the and you can do that again, with the spindle cable that I have, you could just wire it to the on-off and don't have to wire the speed controller. Leave your speed controller manual, and do the automatic on-off, because that way, job starts, thing cranks up. You're watching it through you should always be watching it, but you're watching it in a separate room or something like that, or you got busy doing something, or you had to go to the bathroom. Well, you're not making noise and you're not wasting a lot of power, because as soon as the job stops, it shuts off. So the spindle, or again, router controller. I have a router controller that does the same thing for the router. It shuts off power to the router and or a vacuum or dust system. So you could have all of that controlled through Mach 3. Automatically, pre-wired, pre-configured. It's a hobby box. It's plug and play. It's you can do anything you want, and it's a very common design. In fact, the G3 and half a dozen other units out there, it's same setup. Come on, this isn't rocket science. It's a simple. You got the controller, you got the stepper motors, you got a bunch of wires in between, and that's it. That's it. Parallel, USB, Ethernet. Don't tell me they're all different, because they're not all different. They're all the same. Slight variations. I've been in electronics too long to think that there's a difference between any of these controllers and stuff. The big advantage, and why I've sold 98. We're on 98 units, guys. I think I should break 100 by the end of the week. The reason I sold 98 units is, number one, I'm selling it practically at the cost plus labor. Not at $1,500 or $2,000 like a lot of those other people for everything soup to nuts. And secondly, you got my support behind it. Just today, somebody called me, and they bought theirs 6 months ago. They haven't hooked it up, and they're having an issue with they hooked it up. It worked fine. Then they rehooked it up, and it stopped working. I told them, look, you pay for the shipping, you send it. And this I tell you all every week, pay for the shipping. I'll cover the labor. If there's any materials to be bought, I'll buy them and let you know how much it is. It's usually never more than 30 or 40 bucks at the most to repair one of these things. I mean, unless it took a lightning hit and everything's damaged, in which case, a couple $100, whatever. But anyway, or I can walk you through it. And I have. I've walked people through, I decided to open the hobby box to see what was us, and I started moving wires, and I broke a couple connections. Where does this go? No problem. I'm not one of those guys that go, they mess with my box. They're on their own. No. You got my customer service for life, folks. At least my life. Have a good evening, one and all. And you guys stay safe. I'll see y'all next week for another couple projects or something or other. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And stay away from the dreaded third rail of politics, religion, or anything else with your families, and so you can have a happy one. Good night, all.